almost half the world's population still lacks access to connectivity, and many struggle with the quality even if they do actually have that access. So that means nearly 4 billion people are affected, as well as all the businesses and services in those communities. Now, we have all felt firsthand the benefits of being, truly connected over the past year, from remote access to education and learning, to being able to continue to run a business online, or to even access virtual healthcare. Yet, wherever you live, and in every single country, there still is that digital divide. And governments and international organisations are working really, really hard to close those gaps. So OneWeb is working alongside local operators and partners to help connect even more communities and businesses. So that's their mission, bringing scalable connectivity to the unconnected people and places around the world. Now, the theme of today's particular launch, which I love, is Hello North Pole. Yes, we are going to say hello to the North Pole, which has never before been connected to the internet. We also say hello to all the territories above 50 degrees north. So that's an area that stretches from the North Pole to the southernmost tip of the UK, including Europe, Greenland, Iceland, Canada and Alaska. But launches are not all it takes to establish a transformational low Earth orbit satellite communications network. At the same time, OneWeb has been forging new deals with distribution partners, like local telco partners in these regions, to help deliver the service on the ground to customers at scale. Major partners include the Alaska-based Pacific Dataport and BT in the UK. Today, this 8th launch for OneWeb will bring the total number of OneWeb satellites in orbit to 254. Now, that is a really important milestone because that's the number of satellites required for OneWeb to launch its service to customers later this year. So if you are watching or joining us from Canada, Northern Europe or Alaska, your area is going to be first to access a OneWeb service. Right, as we are less than 20 minutes to liftoff, let's check in on the preparations, which are now well underway. Let's speak to the flight desk in France to join Arianespace Chief Brand and Communications Director, Gregory Gavroy, for an update on the preparations. Gregory, how's it all going?
Yes, good afternoon, Georgie. So I'm standing here. I'm with the team. We're 15 miles, 25 kilometers south of Paris. And I wish you welcome everyone to Arianespace Headquarters Remote Control Center.
Well, it's great to be joining you. Now, this is the 4th OneWeb launch of the year and the 8th overall. Can you just tell us a little bit about the specifics of this afternoon's launch? What have we got to look forward to?
Yes. So welcome on board, everyone, for this 3-hour, 51-minute flight. Our destination today is the low Earth orbit, precisely at 1,200 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. So today, 1 month after the last launch we did for OneWeb, Soyuz will once again place 36 more satellites there, bringing the total fleet, you say that, to 254 satellites. Also, the configuration of this mission will be the same than the previous one. We understand this is a very special flight for OneWeb team. Today, once ST-33, the code name for today's launch, is a success, Arianespace will have put into orbit enough satellites, allowing OneWeb to deliver connectivity services. You mentioned it, Georgie, in North Canada, in the UK, in Northern Europe, or Alaska and Arctic regions by the year end. The team Arianespace is on your side, OneWeb colleagues, to pass that big step.
I know. Can I just say, I'm so excited that we're going to be delivering internet to the North Pole. I'm not sure if I'll ever make it to the North Pole, but if I do and I use internet, I'll be thinking of OneWeb. But Gregory, of course, to achieve something like this, you have to have a huge amount of international cooperation, don't you?
Yeah, it is. This moment is a fruit of many months of teamwork all around the globe. To make all of this possible, our Arianespace and Starsem staff have been working hand in hand with OneWeb and also with OneWeb satellite experts. We also collaborated with Soyuz authorities and manufacturers, our Russian friend from Roscosmos, Akatis Progress, and P.O. Lavochkin and Senki, to be able to operate this launch today. And after this mission, many others should follow this year from 3 different spaceports, Vostochny as today, Baikonur, and also the Guyana Space Center.
And we will certainly be watching out for those next launches as usual. Gregory, thank you so much for your time. Now, the trials for OneWeb's network are already taking place, and the network will be switched on for customers above the 50th parallel at the end of this year. But of course, the mission doesn't stop there. More satellite launches will follow with the aim of delivering a fully global service in 2022. Now, once the OneWeb constellation is complete, 648 satellites will connect you to fast, low-latency internet. There is a dedicated team of people involved in each launch, from OneWebers to partners. So let's hear from some of them now on why fast internet connectivity is so important to us all.
We're Strategies 360 from Anchorage, Alaska.
And we're excited to connect rural Alaska with the world.
We are ready for the launch.
Hi, my name is Sam Hossein, and I'm Chief Executive Officer over here at Denali Brewing Company in Talkeetna, Alaska. OneWeb's high-speed, low-latency internet connectivity is important to me because without internet connection, we just can't get the job done. The job can't get done, we can't make money. We can't make money, there's no jobs.
Hello OneWeb, hello North Pole, hello Canada. We are so excited about the connectivity that OneWeb brings to all of those hard-to-reach places in Canada, from coast to coast to coast.
Hi there, I'm Melissa Thorpe, and I am the head of Spaceport Cornwall. We're providing responsive access to space, and with OneWeb and their low latency connectivity, that will be responsive access back to Earth so that we can connect rural areas like Cornwall better than ever before.
I'm delighted to be here at OneWeb's next successful launch as it completes its 5 to 50 program. This is a hugely exciting development for OneWeb and will secure connectivity from the North Pole to the tip of Cornwall.
Hi, I'm Steve Goldman. I'm the launch technical lead at our Florida facility.
Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Eaton. I'm the cloud security architect lead at OneWeb. The internet is a crucial platform for the delivery of information and services. However, even for developed nations, access can be patchy. Our goal is to change that.
My name is Sarah Fucci, and I'm a launch operations technician in Florida at OneWeb.
And what I like about working with OneWeb is I feel is doing something for everybody. We're bringing internet to places we've never had before, so we're connected to them.
And OneWeb is important to me because it will provide accessible internet to all places in the world.
My name is Lilo Gemelli. I'm the OneWeb Launch Campaign Manager.
Hi, this is Amber Newby. I'm out here at the Vostochny launch base serving as the electrical lead for Launch 8.
We are here in Vostochny with 36 satellites.
I'm out here in support, creating equal opportunity for those who are embracing 50 and above.
Go OneWeb.
Good luck OneWeb Launch 8. Hello North Pole.
Go Soyuz.
Good luck on Launch 8, and we wish you mission success from all of us here at Galaxy in Canada.
Good luck, OneWeb, from here in Cornwall, and hello, North Pole.
Hello North Pole.
Hello, North Pole.
Good luck, OneWeb. Launch 8.
Well, thank you to all of our contributors. It just really brings home just how passionate people feel about OneWeb's mission. Now, earlier in the show, I mentioned some of the people that will benefit from the initial OneWeb service switch on, which is going to be taking place later this year. Let's now hear from 3 of these countries, as we're joined by Joe Hickey, founder and CEO of Rot Networks, who's based over in Canada. From the UK, we have Neil McRae, a BT Group Chief Architect. And from Alaska, Liesl Maguire, the former Alaska State Senator. Very warm welcome to you all. Liesl, I'd love to hear from you just some of the key challenges when it comes to delivering broadband across Alaska. What problems are you guys up against?
Thank you, Georgie. Alaska represents 1/3 the entire landmass of the United States of America, and our population is only 737,000 people. So if you can just imagine all of these beautiful Alaskans living out their lives, learning, receiving medical care, entering into the commerce stream, we've been left behind in many ways. We refer to it as the digital divide here in Alaska, and OneWeb represents an opportunity to meaningfully close that digital divide in a way that we haven't been able to. Terrestrial fiber is expensive. The environmental permitting associated with it is challenging. And so really, it's a solution like OneWeb's LEO network that will bring Alaska into the forefront.
Absolutely. And And Joe, do you suffer the same sort of problems when it comes to connecting Canada? What kind of challenges do you have to overcome?
Yeah, so certainly similar to what Liesl said, we have connectivity challenges because we have such a large landmass as well. So traditional models of connectivity are not feasible or cost effective. And that inequality, if you will, from the urban side, like Toronto and the major cities, versus rural Canada above 50 degrees north and our territories in the far north, we just don't have connectivity there. So OneWeb is certainly crucial to enabling the government's goal of 100% of Canadians to be connected to broadband, which is defined as 50 megabits down and 10 megabits up by 2028. But we're super excited about the OneWeb partnership for another reason, and that is the national sovereignty of Canada, where we have government operations in the far north, our territorial Arctic waters, where connectivity, broadband connectivity for ships on the move and military forces on the move are quite crucial. And OneWeb certainly complements our portfolio of solutions for those customers.
Great. So you're going to be using it both on land and at sea. Neil, love to hear from you. I mean, when you think of the UK, you think it's pretty well connected, but there are still some sticking points when it comes to everybody having broadband, aren't there?
Yeah, look, Georgie, we're in the UK, we're a knowledge economy, and to really take part in the core business of the UK, you've got to be connected. We have many places in the north of Scotland, the Highlands and Islands, where it's difficult to build, it's expensive, environmental challenges as well. Wales and some of the rural location of Wales, but actually all over the country you'll find a not spot. And OneWeb's capability really helps us plug those not spots in a really great way and brings those people into that knowledge economy and lets them take part and be successful. So we're really excited about that. And as we come out of COVID, the whole bounce back and the whole economic return for the UK is really going to be underpinned by our connectivity and pushing what we can do in the UK, both locally from an economy point of view, but also globally. And whilst we're not as big as Alaska and Canada, we punch very high.
We certainly do pack a punch, don't we? Well, listen, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much, Liesl, Joe and Neil, for joining us today. Okay, it's nearly time for liftoff, so let's bring in our OneWeb launch expert, Vice President for Space Infrastructure Development, Maurizio Vanotti. Welcome, Maurizio. So great to have you back again. Let me start by asking you, how are preparations going for the OneWeb team?
Thanks, Georgie. Over the last few hours, the Satellite Operations Center, the SOC as we call it, has performed a series of checks. At T-4 hours, we've done final check with the telemetry and telecommand ground stations that will acquire the satellites after the separation from the upper stage. At T-45 minutes, the SOC team has given the final go for launch. The battery status has been monitored throughout this period of time, and right now our 36 satellites are warm and cozy inside the fairing of the top of the Soyuz rocket.
Okay, so far everything is looking good, which I'm very pleased to hear. Now let's welcome our launch expert, Vincent Bordel, who is Arianespace's Advanced Studies Director. Vincent, great to see you again. How's it all going at your end?
Hi, Georgie, and hello, everybody. So very happy to be with you today for this new OneWeb mission with Soyuz. So far, final ops in Vostochny are running as expected, and the Soyuz is ready for launch.
Brilliant stuff. Now, earlier this week, the rocket was actually rolled into position for launch. Can you talk us through that process? How do you get it prepared?
Yes, so the first combined operation have consisted in the integration of the complete stack of the 36 OneWeb satellites on the frigate upper stage, and followed by the encapsulation phase with the fairing installation. So this operation has been done horizontally in dedicated facilities and clean room. Then this upper composite has been transferred to the launcher integration building, where it has been integrated and finally prepared on top of the Soyuz 3 stage. So first integration on top of the Soyuz 3rd stage, and then the complete integration of the launcher. So 3 days before the launch, the complete launch vehicle has been transferred to the launch pad. So it is an operation performed by train, as you can see on the video. And once arrived on the launch pad, so the launch vehicle has been vertically tilted, and the mobile gantry has been safely installed around the launcher. So after completion of this installation, so the launch pad operation have then been initiated with line connections, with setup and different verifications. So the countdown and dress rehearsal have finally been run successfully at day D-2, that is to say 2 days before the launch, 2 days before today.
You know what, it's always so magnificent seeing it like that. And I can actually say we're less than 3 minutes to lift off. And what you see to the side of me there is pictures of the rocket in its position on the launch pad, raring to go. Vincent, what's happening there right now?
So the beginning of the launch vehicle final automatic sequence has been initiated manually at A0 minus 5 minutes, so with a turn of key in start position. So it is a famous operation called Kluchna start in Russian, so that is to say key on start. So purging operations are as well ongoing, and on Fregat, the transfer has been done to the onboard power supply. 2 minutes and 25 seconds before liftoff, so few seconds ago, the umbilical connectors were separated. And before this disconnection, the communication between the ground and the launcher upper part were provided by these electrical links. And in the meantime, there is a pressurization of the Soyuz 3-stage tanks. And 45 seconds before liftoff, the transfer will be done to the 3-stage onboard power.
Great stuff. And Maurizio, how are you feeling right now? This is a pretty complicated mission, isn't it?
It is, Georgie. We've got a long journey ahead. The satellites right now are inside the fairing, and they're going to be released in a predetermined sequence, but not all at once. We have satellites to drop off at different locations. They're going to be released at an altitude just 450 kilometers above the Earth. Once satellites are released, the onboard computer wakes them up and communicates with the team at our Satellites Operations Center. Then the satellites make their own way to their operation altitude at 1200 kilometers in an upward spiral. It's a complex mission for Soyuz, and that will be completed in just under 4 hours.
Now, Vincent, we really don't have long until liftoff. Can you just very briefly talk me through what is going on in these final few moments before it takes off?
Yes, so the ignition sequence, there will be a progressive increasing of the thrust level. So in order to check that the engines work nominally, so first there will be the ignition itself 16 seconds before liftoff.
Oh, let me interrupt you there, because we've just seen the infrastructure has just moved off, which means they're going into those final few stages before liftoff. They're going to be working through those various thrust levels, and I'm sure very shortly we will see the blaze light up as there's going to be some smoke gathering around it. Maurizio, this is the moment, isn't it? Look, you can start to see the smoke there. Yes, and there's the blaze. Oh, this is exciting.
This is phenomenal. It is amazing.
And any moment now, those thrust levels work through. And our picture there, can we see it take off? Can we got confirmation? And there we have it. Yes, we have liftoff of OneWeb Launch 8. Look at it go in that fantastic setting. It's almost sort of looking glowing red out there, isn't it, Maurizio? Maurizio, tell me, how are you feeling?
Well, it's so exciting. This is the pinnacle, of the effort of the entire OneWeb team and our partners, from design engineers, commercial, human resources, legal, assembly in Florida, the team at the launch site. It's a fantastic teamwork. And let's see, how the next stages are going. Right now, we are in descent phase, so the boosters are doing all the work, pushing up against the Earth's gravity, and they will burn in just under 2 minutes. Precisely 1 minute and 58 seconds.
Well, you can see that it's becoming increasingly like a little dot in the distance as we say goodbye to it on Earth. How fast is it going right now?
So, as you've seen, it's been a fantastic scene, with the sunset in the background, all the red background, very, very scenographic. So the rocket now is increasing its speed, and right now the satellites are experiencing a constant acceleration. It's about 4G, which is similar to riding an extreme white-knuckle roller coaster. We are launching in plane 1 of our constellation today, and there's still a long way to go. So as we said, 4 hours journey before all the 36 satellites are released.
Okay, so we're not there quite yet. Vincent, can you explain how are you getting information from the rocket?
Yes, Georgie, so indeed we are getting the information from the teams in the CVI. So CVI in French, it is the Control Visual in Media. So this operational team is tracking the launcher and receive the telemetry data from it. So consequently, the team can confirm when major events have occurred during the flight.
Okay, well, we have had a successful liftoff, but this is just the start of the journey. What happens next, Maurizio?
So we're looking forward to receiving confirmation of the jetson of the boosters that will happen after they've burned all the propellant. We don't need any more, and that is all part of our plan of shedding weight.
Great. And Vincent, when do we actually reach maximum acceleration, and why is that really important?
Yes, so we have the maximum acceleration level at the end of the first stage flight phase. So this first stage of the launch vehicle consists in 4 boosters around the core, the central core, so 45 tons each, and each powered by one RD 107, A engine, producing a total thrust of 340 tons at liftoff.
Great. And I know that there's now moving into the fairing separation. So that's 30 seconds, Maurizio, until that happens. Can you talk us through what we can expect when that takes place?
Yes, we're just literally a few seconds away. Right now, there are 36 OneWeb satellites that are sitting at the top of the Soyuz launcher. The fairing is protecting them as a shield in these initial phases of the ascent. The fairing has several jobs. Most notably, it's protecting the satellites from severe conditions of the launch and atmosphere.
Right, and I can just say that actually we have got confirmation that the fairing separation has happened. So this has already taken place.
You could see that in the image as well. So there's also acoustic vibration at liftoff, friction when the launcher is flying through the dense part of the atmosphere at very high speed. At present altitude, there's no more atmosphere. So we don't need to maintain the fairing on the launcher to protect the satellites. The launcher is liberated once again from dead weight. And for the first time, if we could be there, we'd be able to see our satellites. The satellites are attached to a central dispenser in a configuration that resembles a corn kernel in a shape that looks like a truncated pyramid. And that is the configuration that maximizes the number of satellites inside the fairing itself. So
okay,
we are now at the end of the second stage phase, right, Georgie?
So we're at the end of the second stage. We're about to go into the next stage. Is that right? Vincent, can you talk to us a little bit about what is happening there?
Yes, so the second stage will be separated in few seconds, and it will be the turn of the third stage to burn. So this third stage is powered by one RD 124 engine, producing a thrust of 30 tons. And this third stage will burn from approximately 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
And Vincent, can you confirm that the second stage has been done?
Yes, and I confirm that the third stage has been ignited successfully, yes.
Fabulous. Okay, so as we sort of wait for that second burn of over 4 minutes, can you talk us through what we can expect for the remainder of the mission?
Yes, so the today's mission of the Soyuz started with the 4 booster phase for a duration of 2 minutes. And after their separation, the second stage of the launcher took the reins during less than 3 minutes. So the fairing is then jettisoned. A few seconds before separation of the core stage, the third stage is ignited and the central core is then separated. 9 minutes and 22 seconds after liftoff, the third stage is separated from the nose module. So the nose module includes the frigate upper stage, the dispenser, and the 36 OneWeb satellites. The frigate upper stage mission will start with a first ignition of its main engine in order to reach the intermediate transfer orbit, followed by a long ballistic phase. A second ignition will be performed for circularization and injection into the satellite separation orbit. And the satellite release sequence will start with first the separation of the 4 satellites integrated on the top conical part of the dispenser, and then successive separation of the 32 satellites integrated on the cylindrical part of the dispenser from the top row to the bottom row, and 4 satellites at once. So as illustrated on the 3D animation, it means that 9 separation events are necessary for the complete release of the 36 satellites. And between each separation event, the sequence is identical, so 19 minutes, which consists in a series of maneuvers. First, a tilting of the nose module, then a boost of the frigate attitude control system with a very small delta V during few seconds in order to ensure enough distance between the satellites and then avoid any collision. Then a new tilting of the nose module to the required orientation for the satellite separation, and then the separation ordered by the frigate upper stage. It is a smooth separation ensured by relaxation of separation specific separation spring. So the end of this complex release occurs a little bit less than 4 hours after the liftoff, with the 9th and the last satellite separation.
Great. Thanks so much, Vincent. Really great to get that overview of what kind of journey awaits the OneWeb satellites. Now, Maurizio, we've discussed stage 1 and stage 2. Can you tell us what is next?
Well, launch phases are always extremely exciting, and now we're looking forward to confirming stage 3 separation. While we're waiting for that, let's also take a moment to highlight that we are in the process of deploying our ground network infrastructure, the key elements of which are the satellite access portals. They are distributed in a network across the globe that will enable commercial service introduction and continuous connectivity at latitudes higher than 50 degrees north by the end of 2021. But now we're coming closer to the frigate ignition.
Great. So, Vincent, let's get back to you. Have you got any updates on the progress so far?
Yes, so we are in the third stage flight phase, so everything is working nominally. So the next phase, so the third stage will be separated, and the frigate upper stage will be getting ready to switch on its main engine. So it will be the first step of the frigate mission, a step called the pre-burn phase. So during 55 seconds, it's giving a quick burst of acceleration to push the fluid back in the tanks, like when you accelerate in a car. So this first ignition enables to inject the nose module to the intermediate transfer orbit, which is an elliptical orbit. And the duration of this boost is just over 5 minutes. So I can confirm the cutoff now of the Soyuz third stage. And we will be able to confirm the frigate, the first frigate ignition in few seconds.
Brilliant. So it's all going to plan. Maurizio, talk us through what's going to happen next.
Well, Georgie, the next phase of the journey is about to start. The frigate is really the smartest part of the rocket with its own brain, and it will execute a series of separations, as explained by Vincent. It's like a school bus drop-off, as it will release 4 satellites per stop in a series of 9 separations in total. And note that our celestial bus has only 1 gear. And as after each drop-off it becomes lighter, the frigate will have to fire its engine for a shorter period of time after each separation. Once the satellites are released, the onboard computer wakes them up, and the team at the Satellite Operations Center takes control of the satellites.
And from there, I guess you guys will be one step closer to getting that 24/7 connectivity to the likes of Alaska and those other countries which are 50 degrees north.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of Alaska, I'm now joined by Chuck Schumann, a friend, founder and CEO of Pacific Dataport, one of OneWeb's first distribution partners. We're going to discuss how important connectivity is for Alaska. Hi Chuck, thank you for getting up so early and for talking with us today. This launch must be very important for you, for your long-term vision to provide connectivity across Alaska, isn't it?
Good morning, Maurizio. Yes, so it's a beautiful morning here. Sun's just coming up over the Chugach Mountains behind me, and I had to get up for this launch. This has been a long time coming. We've been working for many years, as you know, to connect Alaska. And so very excited to be here with you. Very exciting day for Alaska and for the North Pole.
Thank you for the early start, Chuck. This is your lifetime work. So it's 5 a.m. in the morning where you are right now, and it's inspiring seeing you so passionate. Pacific Dataport has been one of the earliest OneWeb's partners. What does this launch mean for your project and for your vision?
Well, for so long, we've had to tell people in Alaska that we didn't have service for them, that we couldn't connect them. And it's really sad to listen to those phone calls. And so with this launch and with this partnership with OneWeb, we are going to finally be able to get beyond that and connect everyone in Alaska. So we won't have to tell people that we can't serve them anymore, or that we don't have capacity to serve them anymore. Everyone in Alaska will be connected. So it's been 5 years in the making, and it's a very exciting day for us to finally see this happen, and for people within the United States, within Alaska, to be connected finally.
So, Chuck, it is really about leaving no one behind, as you were saying. It's not about serving the big hubs. It's a massive change for communities in the most remote locations, like the Aleutian Islands. We've been talking about it a lot, you and I. That stretches 1,200 miles westward from the Alaska Peninsula into the Bering Sea. What does it really mean for these small communities?
Well, examples are for education, where we've been able to, now we'll be able to connect people across Alaska to be able to continue their education when they're in rural areas or in remote locations, where in the past we've had to tell them that there was no connectivity for them to be able to do that. So many things that people in rural Alaska will now be able to do as a result of this connectivity from OneWeb that was not available before. So the partnership is fantastic, and the team has been great to work with, and we're really looking forward now to deploying service and being able to connect everyone.
One last question, Chuck. To bring this into context, can you share with us some anecdotes about the disruption that has been enabled by this launch and the impact on these local communities? We're talking about educations and similar examples.
I'm having a little bit of a problem hearing the question, Maurizio. Just the volume coming back to me. I apologize for that.
We're talking about bringing things into context, Chuck, and giving anecdotes about this kind of disruption.
We've been working on this for 5 years to be able to connect everyone in Alaska, and from the communities in the most remote locations like the Aleutian Islands, and to bring that again into context is that over the past few years, is any time someone would call from these areas, we haven't been able to connect them because we just didn't have the capacity to do that. And so that's what's going to change with this launch and with getting the OneWeb service launched.
Once again, thank you very much, Chuck, for being with us today. It's been great. So looking forward to the next phase of the launch. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Maurizio. Glad to be here, and thank you to the launch team.
Thank you.
Can I just say, Chuck, you look like you're in the most beautiful place in the world. I so want to be there with you. Maurizio, finally, can you just talk to me about the innovation challenge? Because I know this is something that you're really excited about.
Well, Georgie, back in April, OneWeb launched its first innovation challenge, an invitation to find exciting technologies, products, and solutions to advance the world of satellite connectivity and space-based communications. The challenge itself aimed to find existing or new tech for the satellites of the future. Well, the challenge was a fantastic and enormous success, and we had entries of over 300 innovative companies from all around the world, as well as many exciting researchers and students. From all these entries, we shortlisted and selected 14 finalists, and now we can exclusively reveal that we have announced 5 overall winners in industrial category and also the top 3 academic research innovators. Here's a short clip.
Hi, I'm Valérie Gineste. I'm OneWeb Senior Director of Technology and member of this OneWeb Innovation Challenge 2021. This year's challenge has been a huge success. More than 300 entries from 19 countries in just 6 weeks, from innovators who want to rethink satellite connectivity. OneWeb's Innovation Challenge expected to yield radical new ideas that will benefit customers and community everywhere. It gives OneWeb a great pleasure to award 5 innovators the opportunity to co-engineer their ideas further with OneWeb. A very special congratulations. In our academic and research category, 3 innovation teams stood out. The winners will attend the OneWeb Arianespace rocket launch. Thank you to everyone who took part.
Innovation moves fast. More opportunities are coming, so keep up to speed. Sign up to the OneWeb Innovation Program online and be part of the OneWeb Innovation community.
Well, a huge congratulations to all the winners and to everyone that entered. Well, that's nearly all we have time for. But before you go, Maurizio, we have received a few questions from our social media channels that I'd love to put towards you, if you don't mind. So the first one comes from Mads Freds. They've asked, you'll significantly increase coverage in the Arctic. Who do you think your main customers will be at first? What difference do you hope to make in the region? And also, why the Arctic first?
Well, Georgie, we hope to make a positive impact in the region that can connect people to economic opportunities, healthcare, education, and for maritime industry and others. We hope improved connectivity can lead to more sustainable fishing and shipping that helps safeguard the environment and the natural resources in that particular region. Our business plan is to work through local providers or governments. They are the closest to the needs of the communities and the area, and it's our hope to partner with them to offer our network. The Arctic has remained one of the most challenging regions to connect, and if we can provide connectivity here first, we know we can scale globally.
Yeah, start with the trickiest one first. Love that. Okay, the next question comes from Not Stefano1 on Instagram. And they've asked, after launch, how long does it take for the satellites to become operational?
Well, we mentioned we inject our satellites to approximately 450 kilometers above Earth. This is the altitude which we separate from the rocket, from the launch upper stage. And after separation from the launcher, they become live straight away. The own computer wakes them up. And this is when the low Earth operation phase starts. This phase is followed by the satellite commissioning, during which we execute all the necessary health checks. Raising the satellites to their final operational orbit of 1,200 kilometers takes a few months. This is due to the size and the type of thruster we have on board. Once there, at 1,200 kilometers, we will initiate the final commissioning of the communication payload and put the satellite into operation in our constellation.
Great, so a couple of months at least. Okay, and then finally, this question has come in via Instagram. Space Sasha have written, how many people work in the OneWeb Mission Control Center?
Well, the OneWeb team is working hard all around the world, and the size of the team is changing. In COVID, we've had to adapt to all new ways of working, thinking, and operating our constellation and our satellites. We have satellite operation centers in both London and US in Virginia, and they work jointly in one operation center to operate the satellites. The specific number of operators is constantly evolving to make improvements and introduce more automation as we have to fly more and more satellites. OneWeb believes we have one of the lowest operator to satellite ratios in the entire satellite operation industry, actually.
Oh, that's something to be very proud of. Well, that is where we're going to be leaving the mission for the time being. Thank you so much to Vincent, Maurizio and the entire team at OneWeb and Arianespace for allowing us to join them live and for all their insights. It's been brilliant to see another step in the OneWeb mission and understand the benefits it will bring to us down here on Earth. Now, this mission truly takes an incredible amount of teamwork and collaboration, and it is impressive to see how this dream can come together. Now, it won't be long until we can do it all again, so look out for the Launch 9 details. You can follow this project and look at the mission's progress across the OneWeb social media channels. But for now, from me and all the team at OneWeb, we want to say hello North Pole, Alaska, Canada, Greenland, and hello to all the countries above the 50th parallel. Thank you for watching and goodbye.